Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. It's Tuesday night. I am so far behind today that I don't have time to do editing for a third video. So we're gonna rock this old school. Like, remember when I used to do videos way back when I didn't edit and I just went straight to upload and I was like, this is so fun, and you guys kind of felt like, oh, it's kind of cool because we're gonna be live. Yeah, we're gonna roll back to that tonight because I am way behind after spending all afternoon digging through all kinds of research, doing an article, or not even an article, oh my god, it felt like an article about Flo Rida and his son. And if you haven't watched that, you can click that up here. But before we go there, Counting On is back. And I feel like I've been sort of in this pattern of like, I will go on to different topics. We'll start talking about stuff on YouTube, or we'll start talking about, Brittany, or, whatever, Jada, Will, whatever's going on. And then I have to mix in sort of the things that are staples for this channel that keep all of you guys very happy. And one of those topics obviously is the Duggars. Now, some interesting things have happened over the last few days. Obviously, last week, the Duggars debuted with their premiere episode of the season 11, and it was sort of this weird, like, family thing, like family night. And it walked around and it featured all the different families from, Jessa and Ginger and Jeremy and Jana and the kids. And it was interesting because one of the things that was noted by a lot of you guys was that Ben Seewald was tutoring the kids, and that Jana was actually doing arts with the kids and homeschooling. And so some of you guys were wondering, like, does Jana do some of the teaching for the kids? Yes. Is Ben a tutor for the kids? Yes. So Ben Seewald is actually the kids' tutor, and he is apparently paid or something. I don't know, but that's why he doesn't have a job, I guess. He's also in school. So anyways, one of the things that's come out in the last few days was that in the first episode, we saw Joyanna and Austin, and that had people thinking that, oh, they did not quit. Except you guys, they did. So here's the deal. About a few months ago, I said that Joyanna and Austin wouldn't be appearing in the show very much unless it was like for special circumstances. So here's what actually happened. They quit. They straight quit the show, but they are showing up and they are going to appear in episodes that are special circumstances, but they are not going to be filming regularly. They are not on the show, but they did get to be in the first episode, which is sort of weird. Maybe this is sort of the way that Joy and Austin are going to placate her father, by staying within the family. Because once you leave the family and once you leave the show, you theoretically leave the family unless you're Josh Duggar. And if you're Josh Duggar, then you just get to go live in the she shed in the back. If you're Jed, you can just have your bunk bed upstairs with bunk bed Jed. No, just kidding. He's still on the show, you guys. And he's also running for office, and he has a bunk bed, just so you know. Anyways, Joy and Austin actually quit, and they're still on the show, which I find interesting. And Derek actually made this statement on Instagram, and he said, well, hey, they quit, but they're still on the show. And a lot of people were like, well, are we going to expect then to see Austin and Joyanna speak out against them? And I highly doubt it. So, but the interesting thing is that Jill posted a photo with Joyanna. And so if you remember when Jill was a kid, they had the buddy system. And so the older kids actually took care of the younger kids. Well, Jill's buddy was Joy. So basically Joy was raised by Jill. That's the very simple way of putting it. Michelle designated roles to all of the children. Each older child was assigned to younger children, and then those older children were basically assigned to raising and taking care of their younger sibling, because she had 19 goblins and she couldn't handle all of them herself. So Joy and Jill were always super close, so people immediately thought, okay, so Joy is quitting, and so that must mean she's going to leave and she's going to sever from this way of life. Not necessarily. See, here's the thing. Austin is still very deeply rooted in this world, and he is also kind of a control freak. And so my guess is that Austin is a contractor. He has his own job. He has his own way of supporting himself, and they don't have to stay financially tied to the family because they have other options, which is very much in line with Derek. Derek had a college diploma. He was working as a tax accountant. So Jill and Derek were able to leave because he had other options. Ben Seewald literally is the tutor that has been like a professional student the entire time they've been married. So Jessa and Ben are completely dependent on that. And I don't really have any idea what the boys do outside of like running errands for their dad. I can't for the life of me, and doing and flipping houses for their dad. I don't think the boys actually have their own jobs. So will Joy and Austin actually leave the family? No. Will we see them on the show? Yes. Will we expect to see Joy and Austin speak out against things? I doubt it. Now, here's the thing, and this is what I'd heard when I found out about all of this, was that they were just sort of tired of not having the same sort of things that Jill and Derek had, was that they just were not as happy not having any control of their own lives, right? And they wanted to sort of focus on their own family rather than having to be ingratiated or enmeshed within the larger Duggar family. So their reasons to leave are different than Jill and Derek's. And I don't know what this is going to mean long term for them. Part of me is like, oh, they're going to leave the cult. But they're not, because Austin is still so into it and his family's a part of it. And his dad owns this place, this Fort Rock, or this Fort Hood, or I don't even remember, some fort camp and it's a camp. It's a fort camp. The name is eluding me. That they have in Arkansas, and it is a traditional Christian camp where they promote a lot of the people from the IBLP, and his family is very involved in the IBLP. So I don't expect that they're going to make a break from the cult, but they're obviously making a break from the show. So another interesting point was that, and I can't show you the screenshot, so you're going to have to run over to Twitter, but Amy Duggar, earlier today, Amy Duggar King, the cousin of the Duggars, she actually posted on her Twitter that anything that happens in the dark, when someone does something in the dark, it will always come to light. And so Derek has been teasing that he was going to be live streaming when the show is on, and I don't know that he's actually going to do that. But I have this sense that Derek is going to start exposing more and more and more. He doesn't have an NDA. She has an NDA, but she's like teasing that what happened in darkness will come out in the light, will always come to light. So one of the biggest things that you guys have often talked about is how did Josh get to this place where he did these things? Where did he learn these things? And I don't want to speculate. I really don't know. But we do know in this culture that it is a place where it can harbor really bad behavior and protect those that do things. And at some point, I want to do a more educational video for you about how that all works. But I have this sense that there is some really dark things that have probably happened. There's probably things related to the training up the child that Michael and Debbie Pearl, the family used and Michelle used a lot. I think there is some unprotective, probably dismissiveness by Jim Bob of his girls between what happened, and I'm guessing lack of education. So all of that is going to breed children that will blindly follow their family and not question. And so I'm starting to be like, well, Amy, tell me what it is. You know what I mean? And of course I could message her, but she can't tell me because she has an NDA. So it's like having that friend that you can get gossip from that can't literally give you gossip because you don't get gossip because she has an NDA. Ugh, I hate NDAs so much. And Derek, obviously, I've chatted with him a few times over the last few months, but nothing serious, and I haven't heard anything new from him lately. There was another thing about Jill. She was wearing she had a photo of her kids on Instagram, and Samuel had one that said Big Brother, which had everyone speculating that Jill might be pregnant again, but she said that Samuel actually picked that photo, picked the shirt out of his drawer, and it just happened to be a hand-me-down from her older son, Israel. So they haven't ruled out having any more children, but they only have the two. Samuel just turned 3, and I believe Israel is 5. So with that being said, we've got, and Joy is about to pop. She's got her baby due any day now. And then the Duggars airs tonight, and they're going to go shopping on Rodeo Drive, and they're going to spend $300 on a jacket, apparently. And Jana's going to try on a bunch of clothes at the same boutique that Julia Roberts went to on Pretty Woman. I would love to have a fly on the wall of like Jim Bob Duggar's room when he realizes that they're at a place that was about women that did naughty things and were defrauding people constantly defrauding. And I'm sure Michelle was like, I'm just going to be joyfully available. Anyways, so that's what we've got on the Duggars. This was your Duggar pile in 10 minutes or less. Actually, it's just over 10 minutes. So let me know what your thoughts are. Are you surprised that Joy and Austin quit? What about are they going to talk? Are they not going to talk? And what about Ben being a tutor? What about Jana being a teacher? And what about Jill not being pregnant? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.